What's up, guys? Koma here. Today we are actually have a Warframe video. So today we are covering the Firestorm Tornado build that I have going on with Zephyr here. Um, so I kind of just been having fun with Zephyr, doing a lot of wind shenanigans and stuff like that. So I want to do this video, kind of throw this build out there. If you just want to simply have some fun, this is probably a build for you. So I am in the simulacrum, and I do want to quickly cover the build, real quick before I start showcasing how to utilize it. Um, so let's go into the upgrades, and this is what we are looking at. This is the build. I have aerodynamic here, simply because I jump around a lot with Zephyr, and I figured that it wasn't that big of a deal. Additionally, if you don't want aerodynamic here and you're wanting some more ability strength for fire blast damage or um maybe airburst or even tornado damage, you could totally just replace aerodynamic with something like growing power. Or yeah, growing power, which works completely fine. Uh, there's not much else I can say here, as mostly your aura slot is going to be completely dependent on what you have access to. It's also worth noting that I have 1,000 energy with uh primed flow on. This is because I currently have an invigoration on Zephyr that gives me plus 250 addition, or no, it's plus 200 energy. So this number is not completely correct. With prime flow it's a different number, so just keep that in mind. Which is the primary reason why I'm playing Zephyr to begin with. So what we're looking at here is we're looking at primarily range, and we're looking at duration. The reason that is for number one, we're running equilibrium. Uh, and the thing is with strength, the strength is not completely necessary in this build unless you're wanting to add more strength onto this build. Because tornado doesn't really get much of a damage boost. Fire blast, of which we're using, which is Ember subsume, also doesn't get much of a damage boost unless you're running Archon's Vitality, where it doubles your heat damage, which we're not running anyway. And then Airburst, again, not that crazy. And I don't think it even scales from this thing, because it would be green if it scaled. So with that in mind, we're also running Blind Rage for ability strength and efficiency. Again, not completely necessary. I just have it here just for the sake of filling the slot. You can throw whatever else you want in here, honestly. Whatever you feel comfortable with, you can throw there. Again, I'm not quite totally sure what else I would throw there. In terms of that polarity I have on it. Again, this is just no Forma as well on the Zephyr Prime. Funny enough, this is Zephyr Prime was my first Prime Warframe, and the fact that I haven't even bothered doing any uh kind of formatting, I was able to make this build just really easy and accessible. We're running adaptation just for the sake of damage resistances. Just in case we don't have our 3 up, which actually completely just redirects all incoming projectiles. So therefore, we really don't need to worry about projectiles here. Um, of course, we have continuity intensify just for strength and duration, which is nice. Overextended, which is going to be greatly increasing our range. And then stretch for even more range. And then the 2 arcanes I have is multi augmented, which again, you don't necessarily need. You can throw on like arcane energize if you want, or anything else that increases your duration, which the only thing I have right now is efficiency. Um, you can also go ahead and throw on Ice Storm if you have the ability to freeze enemies. Um, so whatever you see, you know, that might be useful, you can throw on here. Shit, you can throw an Arcane Blessing if you want. So if you pick up health orbs, you can actually yeah, Arcane Blessing. So if you pick up health orbs, it'll increase your max health plus however whatever number it is, and it stacks up to 50 times, which is very nice. I use it on a lot of survivability style frames. And of course, we're running Molt Efficiency, and it says while shields are active, gain 4% ability duration per second up to 24%. This is nice because the turbulence here actually is its own little shield and effect around you. So while you have your shield up underneath turbulence, you can get your Molt Efficiency time up. So you're wanting a good duration on turbulence as a result. So let's go ahead and cover weapons first, because you are going to need a half decent weapon for this to work. Here I'm running my Kuva Nuke Core. I'm running a damage build. So I'm running Galvanized Shot, Diffusion, Hornet Strike. I'm running Target Cracker for the critical multiplier as well. I'm also running Elementalist, so the status damage is doing some good stuff here, as well as Galvanized Shot. It says on kill direct damage per status type, affecting the target for 14 seconds and stacks up to ×3. So you're getting even more damage for each status. You also have Lethal Torrent here and Pistol Pestilence. Realistically, you can add whatever 2 mods you want here. But since I've been mainly doing Excavation for Cryotic, I'm running Corrosive with this, but you can throw on Viral, for example, and you should be completely fine. You're also welcome to throw whatever other weapon you have in there. I'm actually running a Cedo, so you can shoot the glaive, the alt fire on the Cedo, and proc multiple different status effects before following up with the Kuba Nuke Core and doing even more damage due to galvanized status stuff on the Kuba Nuke Core. As you can see, I can even throw out some other mods into here. Melee weapon doesn't matter here. I was just running the Praetos for the sake of filling the slot, and I'm running Zeneric just on just for the sake of Wellspring and Hardened Wellspring. So therefore, I just have more energy. That's it. That's the only reason why I really run it. And I'm running a Smedic Vat, because why not? Pretty self-explanatory. It's just Smedic Vats in general are just relatively good. And yeah, so let's go over how to get the build rolling. We are going to be using Steel Path, and I'm going to go ahead and just be spawning a Grenier battle group here. So first of all, again, turbulence is very important, so make sure you have turbulence up majority of the time. But you want to cast your 4, and your 4 will pull all enemies into your tornadoes, and then you can press your 1. As you can see, some armor and some health bars are now red, meaning that some armor is stripped, but you can press it a second time to strip all armor. Because Fire Blast's armor strip is only 75% on the first cast, that means you have to cast it twice to do 100% armor strip. And luckily enough, because we're not running Fire Blast on Ember, it also means that the drain is pretty much gone. Because typically in Ember, you have to spam Fire Blast to reduce the immolation meter. And that is just simply not the case when it comes down to Zephyr. And you can kind of see it just... Oh, my game really didn't like it. But as you can see, you just kind of shred through enemies relatively quickly, thanks to something with the Nuke Core. I'm going to go ahead and take off Corrosive off the Nuke Core so I can showcase it a little bit better. And just throw on... we'll do Jolt and Scorch, so that'll give us more radiation. So go ahead and respawn them. I'm going to grab some more energy here. And again, cast 4. And you can even see something like Cedo still does quite a bit of damage. But again, if your gun is built well enough, you can kind of see that they just kind of like fall apart, really. It's stupidly easy. But again, the reason that Nuke Core was so strong in the first time, it was simply because it just melts through corrosive armor. Whatever, I think it's the ferrite armor the Grenier have. So I'm gonna go ahead and clear this and kill any enemies, and I'm gonna spawn in a few Eximuses here, so you can kind of get a feeling of what you could do with the Eximuses as well. Again, this is without corrosive, so as you can kind of see, it's super easy, especially with the new core. Um, you, as far as I'm aware, you can only do stuff like this with the Kuva new core, although I think the normal new core is relatively okay. But you can kind of see that it's just ridiculously easy how Zephyr can play. And again, because we have aerodynamics on, we can always be in the air. We have increased air glide and damage resistance while in the air as well. Don't know what my game was doing there for a moment. So if you don't have Ember, but you do have probably the next best thing, and that would be Wisp's subsume ability. That is actually, there we go, Breach Surge. You can also run Breach Surge with this as well, but in exchange, you can run more strength over anything else in this build simply because whenever you have Breach Surge, it's a damage multiplier and also has a status chance, as well as being a crowd controlling tool. So for a example here, we will go ahead and clear these and spawn the Grineer Battle Group again. We're going to cast Breach Surge, so as you can see, everyone is affected by it. And then you can cast your 4. And you kind of get this really cool, I call it the radiation blender. So you can go ahead and just shoot them as you usually do, and you can kind of see that they don't die as fast, but it's still just kind of a cool little thing to see all these visual effects go on. So yeah, I don't know. It's a neat little combo of abilities. Build this as you please. Use this build as you please, and I hope you guys find this informational in some way. I hope you guys enjoy the build. I think this build is a absolute blast from everything that I've played with. Because I just really think Zephyr's fun to play around. The low gravity is just a blast. And just being able to do this is just phenomenal. In fact, you don't even need to worry about shooting the enemies that are actually in the air because, again, the tornadoes, if most people don't know, are actually do the same thing as just simply shooting the enemies. So Kuva Nucor by normal means also just has the effect of chaining between enemies, but thanks to the tornadoes, it's actually not necessary. Um, because the tornadoes do that already. So again, it's a fun time. I highly recommend just, picking up Zephyr if you haven't picked her up in a little while. And go strip some armor and have a little fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw up a little bit of gameplay and some steel path and to show you kind of what's going on with the build. And again, if you guys enjoyed it and you found it helpful, you can like, share, subscribe. I want to do more Warframe content. I haven't got around to figuring out how I want to do Warframe content just yet, but here we are, finally. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. See ya.
Their rage is vehement, their focus impressive. Give them all warriors' death.
The Orican Neural Sentry is attempting to purge you from this place. Stand by for life support. necromech. This would be an excellent place to deploy it. Sentient scouts. If they detect you, fighters will soon attack. The sentient has detected you. Fighters incoming. The longer you hold out, the deeper I can search. But if you need to leave, extraction is ready. These manifestations must not be allowed a foothold on Lua. Life support is at risk. Destroy them.